Hello everyone and welcome back to the vlog. My name is Landry and this week I'm going to be talking about my top 2025 favorites. I got the idea from another content creator I watch named Carter Sullivan, so I'll have her tagged somewhere because credit where credit's due. But basically I'm just going to go over all the things that made me happy in 2025. So books I read, TV shows I watched, music I listened to, clothes I wore, my favorite purchases, or my favorite parts of trips or trips I took. Just things that made this year a good year for me. I wouldn't say 2025 was a bad year, but I would say it's a weird year. There's been a lot of change, but I think it's good change. It'll be change that in 2026 is probably good for me. So I'm pretty excited to go about this video. Whenever I was going through and thinking of all the things that made me happy this year, I was like, wow, this year actually has been a pretty good year. And wow, this year went by incredibly fast. I don't know how, but it went by super fast. So I'm just going to start. We've got a lot to get through. So the very first thing I'm going to go over is probably books. I feel like it's one of the most relatable things of the people who are going to watch this video most likely. So my top 3 books, they're in no particular order. One of them is If He Had Been With Me by Nowlin. That is not a new book. I think that book is probably a couple years old at this point, but I read it for the first time this year and it was super good. It's kind of more of like a teenage book, I feel like young adult. But it's really good. You'll cry, you'll laugh, and just the dynamic between the characters and the backstory of who they are and all of that is a very good read. And then I just read these 2 books within the last month. And to be fair, I haven't read much this year. I think next year my list will be bigger because one of my goals in 2026 is to less screen time, more book time. I really didn't read much this year just because I've had so much going on. So anyways, without all of that jibber-jabbering, I read The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. It's the same author as The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And Christmas Tree Farm was really good. It was a cute, easy read. I read it within like a day. And it was just a good little Christmas book. The other one I read is Gingerbread Bakery, also by Laurie Gilmore. And I liked it dramatically more. It is also just a cute little romance, but it has different timelines of the characters. So it shows the dynamic between the characters like in high school when they knew each other. And then it shows the dynamic of them now and like their growth. And I just liked it. I liked the way it was written. I liked the point of views and it made me happy. It was a good book. I also read it very quickly. Next is YouTube content creators. I don't know how, especially because I want to do content. I did not watch a lot of lifestyle content creators until this year. I've never really watched them. I guess I've watched them kind of like in and out, maybe. But for the most part, if I'm on YouTube, I'm watching like my ghost channel that I like to watch or travel channels. And I think those 2 things are even what led me into finding content creators. I don't know how I've avoided watching content creators or haven't gotten into watching content creators, considering I like making content. I don't know. Anyways, one of the first ones is the ghost channel that I like to watch, and it's Project Fear. I started watching them when they were Destination Fear on like the Discovery Channel or Travel Channel. And I like their dynamic. They are best friends and then a brother and sister duo situation. And I appreciate that if nothing happens, they don't make it up. Like it doesn't seem like acting to me. It doesn't seem like they're just trying to make something happen. Like they'll set up a camera and be like, this happened over the next 4 hours. And if nothing happens, nothing happens. And so I like that because I am interested in like the paranormal and things like that. And I feel like a lot of people amp up experiences or make them automatically like a dark experience. And then it turns skepticism into like a higher thing. And it's a different dynamic. So I appreciate that they don't seem like they like make anything up or like make stuff happen. And they're just like they're a fun channel to watch as well. From there, I go into like my travel channels because those are probably the second highest thing I watch on YouTube. I have 2 travel channels I really, really like to watch. And I have watched a lot of them in the last year. So the first one is James and Meg. They are more United States based, and I really, really, really like watching their fall content and their Christmas content. So they do like New York at Christmas time, or they do fall foliage road trips pretty much every year. And I think that's actually how I found them, was trying to plan my fall foliage road trip. And I just like their format, like the style of content that they create. They'll have like B-roll with music over it, and then they'll stop and they'll talk to you. And I don't know, I just like the way that they do things. Their content is beautiful. They're very good at what they do. And then they seem like really good people too. After that is Matt and Nat. They're also a married couple. And I found them I want to say probably 2 years ago when I was planning my road trip to Scotland and Ireland, they had a Ring of Kerry video, but I've continued to watch them because I really like their content as well. They do kind of the same thing where they have like B-roll and music, but then they talk to you. But one of the things, they film more almost like a travel channel like TV show, which is kind of cool. They like do a really good job at editing their content. So one thing I like about them in particular is that whenever they're filming, you can tell that they have planned their trip around filming for you. Like, they do things that other tourists or other travelers would do, and they share that with you. But you can just tell that like they do it for you. Like, they'll wake up early to make sure they're getting the right footage for audiences, or they'll stay up late. Like, you can tell they stay up late to get the right stuff for us as viewers and as consumers of their product, basically. But I also think they get to enjoy their trips a lot. But I like how they do it because they really actually help you plan your content out. After my travel content, I go into lifestyle, and I actually found most of these lifestyle content or like lifestyle creators from travel. So I found Natalie Sizek from one of her videos where I was looking up fall foliage road trips, and her fall foliage road trips also led me to Greta Wilson and Hannah Noel, and they're all three best friends. I like their dynamic when they're together. I also like them as individuals. So I watch all three of them. And then Carter Sullivan, I actually found her through, I think, her Sleepy Hollow video, because when I was planning my fall foliage road trip, I was considering going to Sleepy Hollow. And I just like watching her stuff. She's very like cozy, and I like that her videos make you feel like you're on a FaceTime with her. And then that leads me into Tara Michelle. Her videos also feel like a FaceTime. And she's just like another one of those people that when you're watching them, you're like, oh, I could be their friend. And then that also leads me into Madison. I don't know how to say her last name, but I'll just have it here. She does Disney vlogs and thrifting vlogs and lifestyle. So I've wanted to get into thrifting, and I never really even know where to start. I guess like going to the store, right? But she finds really cute outfits, builds cute outfits, and then just like finds really cute things. And then her Disney content, I just kind of started watching. And I never thought I wanted to go to Disney or cared to go to Disney. And now that's going on my 2026 vision board because I'm like, wow, I think I want to go to Disney. I went to Disneyland when I was younger, and I don't really remember much about the trip. But watching her videos made me be like, oh, I think I want to go to Disney now. And then I also rounded back to Hannah again because Hannah goes to Disney a lot too. And so I was watching some of her Disney vlogs. So anyways, those are my lifestyle content creators. They're all very cool people to watch, and I highly recommend watching all of them. I would say after my YouTube content creators, the number one thing I do after that is I listen to music. I always have music on in the background, whether it's just like soft jazz music or actual music, like songs. I always have it on. Like right now I have music on in my living room and I have music on in my office. I had to mute both of them to record with you, but I listen to a lot of music. So my top 5 that were on my Spotify Wrapped this year, the first one is House Again by Hudson Westbrook, which was definitely my husband's doing, but I do love the song as well. And in particular, I can hear my husband singing it, which makes me like it even more, if that makes any sense at all. My second one is Bloodletting by Concrete Blonde. Not a new song at all, but it was definitely a top listen of the year. And then Gypsy by Fleetwood Mac. There will always be a Fleetwood Mac song in my top 5, whether it's like Silver Springs, Gypsy, Dreams, like any of them. All of their songs are amazing, but this year I listened to Gypsy a lot. And then I also listened to Closer by Kings of Leon a lot. I don't know if you've ever heard that song. It's not a new song at all either. But whenever you listen to it, you physically want to, like, I wouldn't say dance, but you physically want to, like, move to the beat. I just love that song so much. I am not a loud music person, but if that song comes on, my car is, like, jamming. And then my other top listen to song that I listened to a lot more during the summer with like windows down, rolling through the back roads types. It's like that kind of song was Sweet Rose by Lincoln Swanzy or Lincoln Swanzy. I don't know how to say his last name, but it's also just one of those, it's almost like indie mixed with Texas Red Dirt. I don't know how to describe it. It's just a good song, but I listen to it a lot. But it's another one of the windows down, music loud, like jamming type songs. And normally my Spotify Wrap would also include podcasts, but this year I really didn't listen to a lot, mainly because I have my own podcast and we put out 2 episodes a week. So I was editing every single one of those, and then my sister learned how to edit. So now I still edit 1 episode a week. And I think I've got my feel of podcasts. Like I don't think I need to listen to any more. So my top 2 things for my podcast, instead of doing my top 2 podcasts I listened to, because I really didn't this year, I'm going to share my top 2 topics that I liked to give this year. The first one was my Internet Urban Legends episode. It is like the usual creepypasta Internet Urban Legends, so Slenderman and Black-Eyed Kids and Bloody Mary and like all the fun things that we were scared of as teenagers, basically. I went over that and put a bunch of stories into one long episode, and it was one of my favorite ones that I did research on, and probably one of the creepier ones. Like, I did not do the research for that episode in the dark. Scared the heck out of me. Same thing with Haunted Dolls. I did a Haunted Dolls episode, which I did like Robert the Doll and Annabelle, and it was scary. I had to fall asleep watching like Bob's Burgers and Family Guy because I was thinking about that episode so much. And then my most recent one that I think is the most fun I've done in a while out of my topics lately is the Montauk Project. It's more conspiracy-based, less paranormal, but it's what Stranger Things is based off of. And it was so fun to research because I haven't really watched Stranger Things. I watched their first season when it came out in like 2016. Since then, haven't watched it. So whenever I was doing the Montauk Project, I was like, this is some weird stuff, right? And then whenever I was talking about it on the podcast, my sister was like, it's the conspiracy of all conspiracies. I was like, no, I don't know what you mean by that. And then as we went through it, I was like, you're not wrong, because it has conspiracies tied into it. So it's got like 4 or 5 different other conspiracies tied into it, to where it was like, oh, it is a conspiracy of all conspiracies. So it was a very interesting topic, and I highly recommend going to watch that episode. It's at our Sisters of the Strange podcast little platform area, but it was a great episode. And then I haven't watched a ton of TV this year. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of things. I do a lot of podcast work. I work full time. So TV shows aren't really my vibe this year. And whenever I watch TV, I like go through a phase where it's like I will binge the whole season or the whole series of that. So it's like a phase of like, I want to read a book. I want to listen to music. I want to do this. Like, I never can do all of them simultaneously, which is something I kind of want to work on in 2026. I want to have more of like, okay, let's watch TV for an hour and read for an hour, not like binge TV for 12 hours straight and then read for 12 days straight. Like, I want to fix my routine a little bit more, be less binge-like. Anyways, some of the TV shows I watched this year that I really enjoyed was The Way Home. I think I talked about it nonstop whenever the season for it came out. It was season 3. I think season 2 and season 3 came out this year, if I'm not mistaken. I probably am mistaken, though. But it is kind of time travel, romance. It's just very interesting. It's a mom and a daughter and a grandmother. The first season starts with them, and then it goes into like the family dynamic and time travel. And one thing I liked is I could not guess how any of the seasons were going to end. Like, the very first episode, they give you a hint, and the very last episode of the season ends up playing the full storyline of that hint, I guess. But throughout every episode, there's Easter eggs to where it's like, oh. And you like build your theories. And my theories were wrong. My stepmom's theories were wrong. And we normally can guess a theory, right? No, our theories were wrong every season. It's one of the shows I actually went back and watched so where I could pick out the Easter eggs again. Because at that point, you know what's going to happen at the end. Still, such a good show. And it's not based off a book, so you can't look it up and see what's going to happen. Other than like now, season 3, like as you're watching it, you can't look it up. Like season 3, I couldn't look up what was going to happen, And season 2, since season 3 wasn't out, you couldn't look it up. Now you can look up if you wanted to, because season 1, 2, and 3 are out. So if you wanted to ask Google, you could. But before that, I watched these as they came out to where I couldn't look it up, like what was going to happen. So I kept my interest. After that is The Resident. It's just on Netflix. I don't normally watch medical dramas. I think it's the only medical drama I've ever watched, other than House, when my mom made me watch that as a kid and it scared the ever-living heck out of me. It's probably why I have health anxiety like I do. Anyways, I watched The Resident and it was super good. It is mainly based around a man named Conrad, and it's the same guy who plays Logan out of Gilmore Girls. That's why I started it in the first place. But it's kind of about him, and then it starts to include all the other characters, and it's just a really good watch. And then the next show that I watched that I really, really liked this year, that I think I'm the only person on the planet who hadn't watched yet, was Smallville. It had the 2000s nostalgia. It had the 2000s playlist, which is the best. The characters were so great. And honestly, I don't watch a lot of movies that are like that. Like, I've never really watched any of the Superman movies or like Flash or any of those. I don't even know if those are all in the same universe. I don't. But it was really, really, really good. And then my husband at the same time was watching the like newer show of like Superman and Lois or whatever it's called. And he was watching that. So then at the same time, I'd be like, so is Lex Luthor like a good guy or a bad guy? And he'd be like, are you kidding me? But that's because he's in the universe. I'm not. But it was really good and I really liked it. And then, of course, I have my comfort shows, which are just the usual Bob's Burgers, Futurama, Family Guy. Those are the shows I'll put on every night when I lay down to go to bed. They're what I fall asleep to. No volume, just subtitles, but I fall asleep to those. Even my niece came over and stayed the night with me on like Saturday night. And I just put on the very first episode of Futurama, turned the subtitles on, turned the volume off, and that's what we fell asleep to. And then I guess it's only right to mention some of the movies I watched this year, which again, I didn't watch a lot of movies. I have watched probably all of these in the last couple of months, and they're all on Netflix. The first one is Champagne Problems. It's got the actress who plays Lila Garrity on Friday Night Lights. She works for a company that saves small businesses. So she goes over to France and is trying to help this small business. They end up at a chateau, and she's helping the champagne company. It's just a really good little like romance, and it's in another country, which I like. I don't know. I dream about like London, France, Scotland. Like I dream about places like that. So I like watching movies that are in places like that, which probably explains why I liked the movie Oxford Year, which is also overseas, and just such a good movie. It is based off of a book, I do believe, so I do want to put that on my TBR if it is for sure, but I'm pretty sure it is. And you can guess what's going to happen, as you get into the movie, but still just a cute romance. And it's actually got the same actress as my third favorite movie I watched this year, which was The Life List. And it's also kind of like travel-based and just doing something different. And I liked it. All of those were just like simple movies that don't give you anxiety when you're watching them. You can watch them and enjoy them. You can pause them and come back to them. And those are normally my favorite kind of movies. My husband's favorite kind of movies are like war and anxiety. And I don't like stuff like that. Like I will look up what's about to happen because I don't like sitting there like not a fan. So I like things that are very clearly like easy reads, easy shows to watch, easy movies to watch. And then let's get into things that are a little bit different. One of the things I've been trying to do this year is make my coffee at home, which has been a pretty easy task for the most part because I work from home and I live like 25 minutes out of town. So I've gotten pretty good at making my coffee at home. My husband and I bought a Nespresso machine, which definitely helps. We have an espresso machine that his boss gave us a couple years ago, and I've just never learned how to use it. That's one of my 2026 goals, is to actually learn how to use the espresso machine, like look up videos and actually make different coffee. But we have an espresso machine, and I have found the double dulce espresso pod. And I just found that this month. Before that, I've been using just like different Starbucks pods. I was trying out different ones. Didn't love any of them, but they were all okay. My favorite drink I've made at home so far is probably my eggnog latte, and I just learned how to make it like this month. So, and I wouldn't even say it's necessarily a latte because I don't use enough milk to classify it as a latte. But anyways, it's the double dulce espresso pod or Nespresso pod, and then a little bit of milk and eggnog. So good. And I make it in a glass like this size, so it's not a big coffee, and this is not what I'm drinking. That's not what I'm drinking right now because eggnog is very thick and very fattening, so I don't need to drink that every single day. But that's my favorite coffee I've made at home so far. And then if I do go into town and get a Starbucks, which normally on the way to my sister's house to record for the podcast, I'll stop at Starbucks, and I just get a vanilla sweet cream cold brew with a dash of oat milk. And if I want it to be a little bit stronger, I won't put like a dash of oat milk in it at all. It just depends. My other thing I'll get at Starbucks is a caramel macchiato with a double shot of espresso in it, which then makes it a quad, which is a lot of coffee, but still delicious. The only thing is I really don't love Starbucks. It's very like plasticky tasting to me, but I still drink it because it's the only coffee shop I really pass on my way to my sister's house. We have a Dutch Bros here in town. They just opened a 7 Brew, so I haven't even tried that yet. But Dutch Bros is nowhere near us. It's like nowhere near my path. We've got Starbucks out the wazoo here, so I do drink Starbucks quite a bit. And then I'm going to go into my favorite places that I visited this year. My husband and I took a road trip, so we traveled to multiple different places in our road trip. And then my sister and my stepmom and me took a girls' road trip. So our girls' road trip are my two favorite places, which is the only places we visited on that trip, but they definitely were places I want to go back to, was Savannah, Georgia. It was beautiful. It was everything you would imagine like a Gothic historic city to be. I would go back there in a heartbeat. I loved it so much, but it was such a good time. We walked around the whole city, saw everything, did ghost tours of all the haunted places there, did actually went into the haunted buildings and did ghost tours, did the actual like ghost tour bus. So did a lot of ghostly things, which was so cool to do in Savannah. And then we went to Covington, which is Mystic Falls. So we got to go live out our little Vampire Diaries dreams. We got to go to the Lockwood Mansion, and we went to where the Mystic Grill is not. It was filmed on a stage for sure, but we went to the Mystic Grill both nights. We went to the square and did all the walking around. We went and saw all the houses. We went and did there was a walking tour, so you could go by Elena's house, you could go by Caroline's house, and then actually the Sweet Magnolia house was Magnolia's, that house is there too, across the street. So we got to go do all that, and it was a lot of fun. That was a very cool girls trip. And then my husband and I actually also took a little weekend getaway to a cabin in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. It's only a few hour drive from where we live. And we literally just rented a cabin out in the woods, took our food with us and holed up in this cabin, took a speaker. We got a cabin that had a pool and a hot tub. So we swam all day and floated and just listened to music. And then at night we got in the hot tub, and it was such a fun trip. I would also go back there, and I would go back there tonight. Even with the weather being cold, I would go back there tonight. It was so much fun. And then we took a fall foliage road trip and went to a lot of places, and all the places we went to were beautiful. But my top two were definitely Boston and Salem, both in Massachusetts. Boston was such a cool and historical city. We did the Freedom Trail, which was 42 stops and many, many miles and a lot of steps. But I want to go back to Boston during the summer and see the Freedom Tour or see the Freedom Trail. One, there was a lot of construction going on. Paul Revere's house was under construction. The first library or whatever was under construction. So I didn't get to see those places, and I really would have liked to. But I also want to experience it when it's warm and sunny outside. I think it's also going to be a different vibe when it's like that. But we didn't see a lot of Boston because we did the Freedom Tour and Freedom Trail, and we were only there one day. So I want to go back and have more time there. And then Salem, I want to go back during the winter. We went the weekend before Halloween, I do believe. So it was super, super crowded. What I wanted to go at that point in time because I wanted to actually get to experience the Halloween feeling of it. So it was really cool also. But I do want to go back when it's cold and less crowded. That leads me into some of my favorite events that happened this year. One of them also occurred on our road trip. We went to the New England Fright Fest at Six Flags in Massachusetts. So cool. We live near Arlington, so we live near the Six Flags here in Texas, and I've gone there so many times, but I've never gone during Fright Fest. So going at Fright Fest was a lot of fun, but then also going to a different Six Flags was so cool because it's different rides. Some of them are the same, but different rides, different layout, different vibes entirely. So that was a lot of fun. And then one of my other favorite things that happened throughout this year event-wise, and it had multiple events tied to it, but my nephew was born, and he is now sitting at about 4 months old. 3 months old? 3 months old? He's now sitting at about 3 months old. His baby shower was a lot of fun. Just celebrating my brother and his wife was really cool this year. And then getting to actually hold him for the first time and getting to spend time with them has been a lot of fun. So that's probably one of my favorite events, is getting another nephew into my mix. And then a few of the new things that I did that I really enjoyed that I've never done before is I played fantasy football. Did I watch any of the games? No. But I have gone in every week and I have, checked the rosters, checked the points, checked projections, and I've learned a little bit about players just from doing it like this rather than actually watching the games. But I actually right now am in the finals, and I think I might place in the top 3 of our league, which is crazy because, again, I don't watch football. But it's been a lot of fun, and messaging my friends, and my sister's playing and my stepmom's playing, and just kind of crap talking each other. It's just been fun. And then I also did something new this year for Supercross. I've always watched Supercross and I've always gone to Supercross, but we did a fantasy league for Supercross as well. I didn't do the most amazing, but it was fun. And it's me and my stepmom and my sister-in-law and my brother and my dad. And so every week during the Supercross season, we send each other a message and we're like, hey, don't forget to get on and change your riders. And it's, you just do like the top, who you think will be in the like top 5, who you think will be number 7. I think that's it. Yeah. And then you get points based out of it. And then you get like credit in the app and stuff like that. So you can use it towards merch or whatever, but it's a lot of fun. And it's something I've never done before. And I will certainly be doing it again whenever the season starts up here in like January. And then from there, I would say I want to go over with some of my clothing that I wore this year. I'm not normally like a style person. I'm literally wearing a sweatshirt right now, which is actually super cute. It's a Gilmore Girls sweatshirt that my sister got me for my birthday. But I am not like a fashion forward girl at all. I want to be, but I don't know my style. I have not figured that out yet. But some of my favorite things I've worn this year, I actually brought them in here. Not only did I wear all of these this year, I bought all of these this year. So I bought these suede Vans. My dog ate them, which it's fine because they were actually too small anyways. I bought a size just too small. Like I wore these one day when we were walking around Savannah, Georgia, and my feet went numb because of how small these were. But they're like suede. I want to buy a pair of them again, clearly the size that fits, and I want to buy a royal blue pair. And then my other top that I wore this year are my checkered Vans. And I got these because we had custody of our nephew and he played football and our team in town is white and blue. But I wear these quite often and I like the shoelaces. They're different. So those are some of my favorites that I wore this year. And then again, another pair of Vans because I live by Vans. These tennis shoes. So I actually bought another pair that is white and they've got like neon yellow and then like blue. But these are the ones I wear the most. I wear these shoes all the time. They're very comfortable. You do have to like wear them down first. Like they're not shoes you can just wear and they're comfortable at the very beginning. I think no Vans are built that way, but you kind of have to make them flimsy, but I wear those all the time. And then I also bought a pair of American Eagle jeans. I bought 2 pair. Really they're both are my favorite. One of them is more of like a relaxed, long, like actually goes to the ground, cuff the bottom of them, cute jeans. And then another one is more like whitewashed, skinny-ish kind of jeans, but not really. I don't know if they're like the boyfriend, or I don't know what they're called. But I'll upload some pictures or some screen grabs of me wearing those. I know I have one particular picture in one of the pair of pants with one of my other favorite articles of clothing that I got this year. It's a athletic jacket from Walmart, which is crazy. But my stepmom took it on our girls trip and I wore hers because I had ran out of, like I needed just like a light jacket that day and she had packed a lot. And I put it on and she was like, girl, that is your color. I am buying you that jacket. And so she bought me one for my birthday and I wear it all the time. And it's, I don't know, I didn't think red was like my color. Normally I wear like black and just like very like normal colors like this. And I love that red. So that was one of my favorite other articles of clothing that I wore this year. So I have a picture of me in that jacket with those pair of pants and I'll for sure upload it on the screen somewhere. And then from there, I think I'm going to go into my favorite food and drinks. My favorite food that I learned how to make this year, me alone, is grilled fajitas. So I have like mastered the chicken on the grill. And then I saute onions and bell peppers in the house. But I went through a phase, especially during the summer, once a week I was making those. And they were absolutely delicious. Like makes my mouth water right now. I kind of want to make them right now, but it's like 32 degrees outside. And then I made a ton of Cajun chicken pasta. I make it different pretty much every time, but it always turns out amazing. And then my last thing is a meal that I ate on our trip. It was a meatloaf. Oh, it was so good. It was meatloaf and it had like gravy on the top of it. So I wasn't so sure. I was like, oh, I don't know about that. But then it was laying on a bed of mashed potatoes. And then in the mashed potatoes, there was like circles. It almost looked like pineapple, like grilled pineapple, but it was grilled squash, but it was grilled with like maple syrup or something on it. And so like you take a bite of the meatloaf with a bite of the mashed potatoes and a little piece of that squash. And that squash almost made up for like the lack of the ketchup topping. That would be like sweet. That grilled squash with that maple on it. Oh, it was the most amazing, perfect bite. So, so, so good. One of my favorite meals. I almost wanted us to eat it the next night on our trip again. Like I was going to order the same plate, but I didn't. And then I'm not going to tell you have to go buy any of these things. This is not me saying, hey, go buy all these things. But these are things that I bought this year that I am so happy I bought. One is the camera that I'm vlogging with. I love that I finally bought a camera. I have wanted to vlog since at least when we went on our honeymoon in April of 2024. But I've been too hesitant, too nervous, didn't know what to do. I finally figured out, and I'm so happy that I'm doing it now. It makes me happy. I love the creative outlet. I love building a community with other people. I kind of like putting myself out there, like to an extent. I kind of think it's fun. I know all of my friends watch, some of my family watches, and it's just been like a fun thing to do and a good way to get like my creativity out there because I'm a very creative person. So I really like it. And then I bought this battery pack to go with the camera. I think I have to like say that it's also one of my favorite purchases because it charges all the batteries. So this is one of the battery packs. It's charging a battery right now. I have you on a stand that I'm also happy I bought. And then another like few small purchases that I made this year. One of them I haven't started using yet because I've just been kind of procrastinating it. But I bought a hormone kit from Rocasa, and I've heard a lot of really, really good things about it. And I'll probably start using it today. But I kind of been procrastinating it. It kind of overwhelms me. But my husband and I have been trying to have a kid for a while. And I haven't ever like truly done what it takes to like really try and conceive because I get overwhelmed. And like I said, I have health anxiety. So then I kind of just like back out of all of it because I get overwhelmed. And I think this is my first step to really trying to get myself on the right path is to fix my hormones. They're a little bit wonky, and I've been tracking my hormones for the first time ever this whole year. I've been tracking them. Like I actually like one of my apps that I track in almost did like Spotify Wrapped, but did Wrapped for me tracking my cycle, which is crazy. But I do need to start this. Like I said, I just get overwhelmed and never do it, but I'm pretty excited about it. And it's one of the purchases I am excited that I made. And then these two are just smaller, simpler purchases that both go with like my hair and beauty. Because I wanted to do a hair and beauty category, but I really don't change it up. And I'm not really like a hair makeup kind of girl. Like my makeup, I take off with micellar water and then I put native lotion on my face. And then I seal it in with Vaseline because I've got such dry skin. And then during the summer, I just only do the Vaseline every now and again so that I don't like clog my pores. That's it. I don't have like some big beauty routine. And then even right now, all I have on my face is like a little bit of powder, like a little bit of like bronzer right here. And I have on a little bit of blush. I put on a little bit of highlight. And then I curled my eyelashes and put mascara on. And I put like a very, very light eyeshadow on. Like put it on my finger, put it on my eye. That's it. I like don't do makeup. And if I do, I'll like add eyeliner into the mix. And that's really the only thing I'll do different. But I did buy this hair oil from my hair girl this year, and it smells so, so, so good. And my hair isn't really dry. I've got pretty solid hair, but I have very fine hair, and I like to only wash my hair like once a week. And so this makes it to where it doesn't dry out super bad. And then on the same topic of I only like to wash my hair like once a week, I bought the Kitsch dry shampoo. I am not a huge person who likes dry shampoo because I don't like the way it feels on my scalp. This stuff doesn't bother me too bad. I only really use it like very rarely, but it does work really well. It doesn't leave a lot of like residue in your hair, and it also doesn't hurt my lungs. I have really sensitive asthma, so there for a while whenever I worked in an office and clearly had to wash my hair more because I was being seen in an office every day, I was using like the Not Your Moms and stuff like that. I'd have asthma attacks all the time. I like one day I put it in my hair. I went to work, and when I got to work, I could smell it and taste it so bad, and it was making me physically nauseous. I used PTO and I went home and like took a shower and like called it a day because it was making me feel so nauseous, the dry shampoo I'd used. I immediately switched. I started just using normal baby powder, and then I started using H-E-B's brand because theirs is also just basically baby powder. But I finally bought this Kitsch brand, and it's pretty much the exact same thing. It's rice protein, and it doesn't have all the bad stuff in it. I don't like to use all the things that have all the chemicals either, which is why I don't have a lot of like facial stuff, and that's why. And then this hormone kit is all natural stuff. It's Rocasa. So those are some of my favorite purchases I've made this year whenever it comes to just like health, beauty, taking care of myself. And then one random thing around my house, I don't really decorate a lot because we live in a rental property and we've been waiting to buy like the right house, but my husband and I both have different styles of homes that we like. And then we also just don't know what we want to buy whenever it comes to a home. So I haven't really decorated a lot. I've just now kind of started decorating like my office because a lot of the things that I will have in my office, I will have in the same, like when we build a house or buy a house, whatever we end up doing, my style of office I think will remain the same. And so this is the only place I've really started to add decorations. And this year I did buy a lighted leaf garland, one that went all the way around my house, but it's only for fall. That was one of my favorite purchases, like seasonally. And then one of my other favorite purchases, I don't know if I have a picture of it. If not, I'll just take one. But it's this mirror, and I've kept it in my office year round. I bought it for Halloween, but I'm going to keep it up year round because I'm like a spooky girl. So like even the artwork on my wall behind me right here is like a picture of a ghost in a castle and like a witch. And then I have a ghost in the forest. And I bought this mirror and it says, "Feeling cute might haunt you later." It's just really cute and I like it. And it matches who I am as a person. So it's one of my favorite purchases I've made this year, which sounds crazy, but I literally keep it on my desk because I love it so much. And then after that, I'm just going to go into 2 different categories of apps, and that'll probably be the end of this video because it's getting longer than I thought it would be. My apps that I use on my phone religiously is a good sorting app. It's just a game. I play it like crazy. I'm on level like 1200 or something insane, but it's one of my favorite games. It's what I will be doing if I don't have like work in my lap, like if I'm not working on my computer and I am sitting down to watch TV or a movie, you can guarantee that that app is open and I am playing it. Another thing that I do every single day, it's normally the first thing I do when I sit down at my desk, is I play all of the New York Times games. I play the crossword, I play the mini crossword, I play the spelling bee, I play connections, I play the Sudoku. Like I do all of their stuff. I enjoy it. I do it every day. I have like a streak because I play them all every day. And then 2 of my other apps that I use very heavily is Stardust, which I just mentioned, where I track my cycle. It has a lot of little like fun things in there that they'll say, but it's like it shows me my cycle pretty well, and I enjoy it. And then the other one is called CoStar. They're both kind of like horoscopy, which I enjoy. They're fun, whether you believe in it or not. It's still fun. And so like my CoStar, I actually keep at the very top of my phone. It's one of my top widgets, and it always has like fun little blurbs. So like every day it'll have your day at a glance, and it has like a little sentence. And so today it says, "Being true to yourself is scary and hard, still you must try." Then it has like a little paragraph underneath it. I'm not going to read that, but it has like 2 little things. It has do's and don'ts for the day, and it has 3 do's and 3 don'ts for the day. And it says do today is hitting snooze, overalls, and playing hooky, which I have not done any of those today. I should have hit snooze. I'm running on like 4 hours of sleep, but I'm here, you know? And then don't. It says whispers, lambasting, and isolation, which I don't know what either of those things mean. Or I don't know what lambasting means, and I wouldn't really necessarily know what whispers means either. But I don't know what kind of whispers, I guess, right? So isolation. I had planned on staying home today, but I guess that means I need to go into town. But it's just fun. Like there was one day it was like, don't wear red lipstick, or don't wear camo, or do jibber jabber. Like it says little silly stuff, and I think it's fun to read. It's something I do every single day. But the Stardust app, like I mentioned already, it has little fun stuff too. So it'll tell you like if you're feeling like a certain way that's normal right now. Like it says, you know, a lot of people that are also, it says other starlings that are in the same like cycle area as you, they're unmotivated right now. They have mood swings, their appetites increase, they want salty foods, or they're having acne. And it has like a little paragraph about, you know, how you may be feeling and things like that throughout the day. So I like that app as well. And then my other last apps that I use and that I use daily is for my business side of things. It's Audition and Premiere, which are both Adobe products, but I use them both very, very heavily. That's what we use for the podcast. And then Creator, which is the background for our Spotify. It's Spotify Creator. And I check it multiple times a day to see what our listeners are looking like, to see what our statistics are, and I just love it. It's one of my favorite things so far this year. And then Canva. I use Canva quite literally every day. I'm using it right now. I've used it to make my schedule for the rest of the week and the rest of the month. I have it open 24/7 pretty much, whether it's on my phone here, like I use it to make my grocery list, I use it to make this list. It's just an app that I use all the time. I pay for it actually because I use it so much. And yeah, it's just made this year a lot easier for me. It's where I build my episode outlines. It's where I build our thumbnails. It's something I use every single day for all sorts of things. So it's definitely one of my top in my apps. But I think that's it. I think those are all my 2025 favorites. That video ended up being way longer than I thought it was going to be, so thank you for bearing with me. But I hope that you took some inspiration out of this, and I hope that you also had some of these, maybe you had some of these things be your same 2025 favorites, whether it's some of the apps or maybe some of your favorite clothing or some of the favorite songs or movies or books. Definitely feel free to put in the comments what some of your favorite things were. And I will either see you later this week with another video of our 2026 mood board, or I'll see you next week when I upload our 2026 mood board. But that is what's next in store for our little vlogs here. And like, comment, subscribe, all the good things. Thank you for watching, and I will see you either later this week or next week. Bye!